The hot debate of late, how will economic recovery unfold? You may have noticed lately, more than ever, economists, pundits using letters and symbols as metaphors to describe how the economy will emerge from this recession. Brendan Moynihan is a Bloomberg News editor-at-large and wrote an editorial on why that is. Welcome to you, Brendan.
Thank you.
What gave you the idea to write the story in the first place?
Well, as the summer unfolded, a number of different commentators and economists came out with the less traditional letters of the alphabet to try to describe what's going on with the economy or how it might rebound. And early this summer, people started straying from those and going into, as economists often will, math. They pulled us square root signs, and it unfolded from there. And I think that people would miss the notion of it, that there has really only been one kind of recovery, especially in this depth of a recession.
It's crazy, right? You've got U, V, W, Riemann zeta function. I think you were joking about
that
in your piece, but it's really off the charts. So U, V, and W are commonly used symbols, but you're really seeing also square root, even, people describing the economy and the recovery in those terms. Give us some context. U,
never happened.
Never happened.
Nope.
W happened twice?
Happened one time.
One time.
For specific reasons we can talk about in a minute.
Okay.
You want it now?
Go for it. Let's hear it now.
The only time the economy did that was 1980, 1981, and it was right after the Federal Reserve had deregulated interest rate ceilings in this country. They were experimenting with monetary policy. Some have described it as being like a drunken sailor. The economy started to rebound. They jammed interest rates up. They jammed them back down and jammed them up again, and that's what caused that back-to-back recession in a period of about a year.
And then L, there's the L, but that one's off, hasn't happened either. But the V, which is really the most robust description of economic recovery, at the end of the day, the economic reports we've had leading up to now.
Right, and most recently yesterday, the ISM report on manufacturers is displaying the typical conventional V shape. You look at all the post-World War II recoveries, anytime you've had this deep of a decline in the U.S. economy, and the last time it was greater than this was 1980, when Jimmy Carter went on television, told Americans to tear up their credit cards, and they did, and they mailed them to the White House. The U.S. economy shrunk 10.4% that year. So any of the others, this depth of recession, the deeper the recession, the stronger the rebound, the V coming out.
And that's what the tradition has been.
And that's what the data is right now. So we've put the illustrations in the story.
So then what was your point? That there's this wide variety of letters and symbols that people are using. It's getting crazy. But at the end of the day, it's just going to be, well, we hope it'll be a V.
Yeah, well, I think that what happened was that, some people may have gotten a lead on this over the past several years, saying there's a financial crisis coming or things are going to end badly. Those people have really not changed their tune. They're now piling on and sticking to the same thesis that they had going into it. Others who are playing catch-up are now looking for some other kind of illustration to show what they think is going to happen next. And that's the point that we're in right now. And they're ignoring what is actually happening with the data. And
then the square root, let's talk about that. Who's in this camp?
Well, we saw it early in the summer, and then it reappeared in a Merrill Lynch story. And then there's even been one on the shape of shorthand for the symbol bank. But they're reaching for them. They're trying to find all sorts of things to explain why it's different this time. In the past, if the stock market's making new highs and somebody says, oh, it's different this time, they'd be ridiculed. And yet right now we're hearing it's different this time, and yet nobody's ridiculing them.
Have economists always used letters as a way to simplify things for the everyday person? Well,
I think this was probably got started probably in the early 1980s when this thing started to happen. But economists have a inferiority complex. They desperately want to be seen as mathematicians, and so they tend to stray toward the formulas. And we saw it this time with the more of the math symbols.
So where are most people leaning right now? Which symbol?
I think that the people that are getting the press right now, the people that are out there pounding the pavement because they may have been on the front edge of things, have not changed their tune. And so they're saying that it's going to be an L, it's going to be a spiral, it's going to be flat. And I think that the data is basically flying in the face of that right now.
Very good. Brendan Moynihan, Bloomberg News editor-at-large, with an interesting editorial today on the Bloomberg Terminal. Thanks for joining us, talking about your story.